Speedo, this men's self. We're going to continue this conversation on relationships. This is the second week. This week, we talking about dealing with your spouse past. A lot of people can't deal with that. A lot of times this brings up a lot of issues, a lot of things you didn't know, especially with men. So my men, this is ways you can deal with it if this is something currently that you're going through. You with me? Let's get it. Number one is understanding and being realistic about her past. Think about this. Everything she's been through in her past is the reason why you love her today. The reason why you got to the place where you really can vibe and understand and relate to the things that she's been through and mistakes that she made, because we all do it. So understanding that her past and looking at it in the way of it, understanding that she made mistakes, you made mistakes, we all make mistakes. Certain things you won't like, certain things you don't like, she ain't gonna like, but that's just the way it goes. But that develops you as character. It shows you what somebody been through, understanding their trauma and being able to relate to what they've been through. And that develop into the person that you really fuck with. So, you know what I mean? Let's try not to be so judgmental on people's past, and that past developed into the journey that y'all gonna walk in together. You know what I mean? So let's try not to be too judgmental on that point. All right, number two. You're not meant to know everything. Trust me. Imagine giving your spouse a first-hand look into some of your biggest regrets in life without any context. Like, just imagine them seeing you at your lowest point. Like, certain information you're just not meant to know. Like, without any context that I'm battling their inner demon. So imagine giving your spouse a first-hand look to some of the most things that you regret in life without any context as you battle with your biggest demons. Imagine that. Would they look at you without judgment, considering you still judge yourself for them same issues, them same demons that you haven't even got past yet? Some things you can't see, you can't unhear, and you can't just forget. So be careful with the information that you're seeking for, that you're looking for about somebody's past. Because if you love this person and you with this person and you want to be with this person, some things you can't see, you can't unhear, especially when it was a whole nother person that did some of these things. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just make mistakes, and that's okay. Like, are you going to become judgmental of a person that you didn't even know at that point? Meaning you're going to start judging this individual based off a past when they was a completely different person whenever they made these so-called mistakes or whatever issues that they may be, because they could be a completely different person. You feel me? So, like, let's try to be cautious with trying to dig too much or trying to find in the past, because you could be with somebody that you're really happy with, but find out something they did in the past that they're not even that person no more, and you just don't want to fuck with them no more, just based off of something that you found out. So be careful with the information you're looking for, you seeking, because you're going to find it most likely. Also, dealing with somebody's past, you don't know their traumas. You don't know their issues. You don't know what a lot of people been through. Even if some people articulate what they've been through and how it affected them, you still may not understand the magnitude of how they react, how they move, the walls they build up to prevent certain things. And if you don't really be patient and understanding and loving in these situations, for you could really get the grasp of how they feel about certain traumas, it's going to be kind of problematic for your relationship, because some people may not be able to take certain steps or do certain things to be as open with certain situations if you're not understanding the trauma that they've been through. So when you're dealing with people, understanding their past traumas, their past hurt, their past scars is developing them into an individual that you have to be patient enough to understand and help them walk through these issues if you want to get to a point where you feel like this is where I would be, where you feel love and you feel understanding. So as a man, we could be dismissive in the place of like, yo, come on, man, it's not that deep. But you never know how people trauma has affected them physically, spiritually, mentally, and I know I keep saying that, but it's something that you have to take heed to if you're wanting to get to a place with somebody and reach new levels of height of love, understanding, and patience. You with me? All right, men, number 4, dealing with our own insecurities. A lot of times our own insecurities can bring a lot of issues to the forefront that ain't even intended to. So we got to kind of be careful when we tread in this place and dealing with our own insecurities, because sometimes when you got these insecurities, we can interpret the things completely wrong, look at things completely wrong, look at things completely toxic. And a lot of times our insecurities are kicking effect that we just want to defend ourselves and protect ourselves at all costs, no matter what. And when that happens, they're bringing self-sabotage, overreacting, all kinds of issues that we trying to avoid. So just understand your insecurities, where you at with them, and kind of try to if you in a safe space with this individual, you can articulate them so it can be something that y'all can work on together. And that will bring y'all closer together, but understanding that that's a sensitive subject. And I wouldn't advise it if you're not in a place where emotionally you couldn't handle any sort of kind of retaliation on that front. So make sure you're in a safe space so where you can articulate, you can work on it, you can progress with the person that will help you in that space. Sometimes you just got to fix it on your own. And that goes back to self-improvement, being a better spouse, you be in a better relationship. So let's try to take an account of our insecurities. Let's figure out ways to work on them. And let's not just sit on them thinking it's okay that they're there, because they're not. So either way, shape, or form, we got to figure it out. You with me? All right, number 5. When you're dealing with people past, respect yourself and respect other people's past. Understand where you're coming from. This is something y'all do together. Understand where you're coming from, understand where y'all at, and understanding where y'all want to go. Therefore, y'all can have a clear line of communication, a clear understanding of the path that y'all want to take together. So y'all can have an understanding of how to get to it, coming up with a plan, coming up with ideas, and all that good things y'all can do together. So just having respect for yourself and respect for your other person's past situations, past issues, past traumas, all that, and also having respect for yours. So it's not treaded on lightly, it's not played with, it's not a joke, it's not any of that, because you want to establish a sense of seriousness in these situations, so it's not taken lightly. So whenever it comes to a time and a place where you really want to progress and do better, you're able to with a partner that's willing to walk with you and work on their own issues. It ain't nothing better in a relationship than having goals and accomplishing them goals together where y'all can see yourself progressing. You can see yourself succeeding. You can see the progress. It's always good in life when you see in progress, whether it's small or big. Moving forward is always the way to go, not back. So respect yourself, respect your past issues, and you'll go a long way. You feel me? It's Pito, it's Men's Health. Holla at me.